Hey y'all, happy Thursday, thankful Thursday. Come on in the room. I don't like to say the room, but just come on in. Come on, talk to me, y'all. Come on. Y'all know how I do. Tuesdays, Thursdays at 6. How y'all doing? How was your day? Let me know, how was your week so far? What's today? Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Lord, y'all, I almost said it was Thursday. Lord, I think I did say Thankful Thursday. Jesus. It's Terrific Tuesday. So, hey, y'all. Say hi to me once y'all get in here so I can know you're here. So I can say hello back. Oh, Facebook acting right today. Listen, come on, because it was really acting up last week. And I wasn't sure if y'all was going to see me. Just come on in and say hello so I can know you're here. I won't be before you long, but I got something to talk about today. And we're going to get this conversation going because you know how I feel about it. Let me know y'all in here. Again, I feel like I don't necessarily know when people are on, so I'm going to keep on inviting y'all. And if y'all don't say hi, I don't know. I'm going to start up in any second now. I know y'all see my topic. I'm trying to keep it juicy a little bit. Relatable. A bit. All right. All right. Let's go. Hi, Lawrence. Anybody else in here? Say hello so I can know you're here. Hello. Y'all know it is getting cold in this house, so I got my little blanket on. Hey, Auntie Elaine, how are you? Love you. So trying to wait for a few more of you to start because everybody always says, oh, I miss your lives. So I'm hoping that people are seeing it. Hi, Lawrence, how are you? I'm really hoping people are seeing it so they can engage because like I told y'all, listen, I don't need to get on this ladder to talk to myself. I'm trying to talk to y'all. So I'm hoping that you guys see it and engage and talk back to me. So I think I'm going to just start though because I don't know who else is coming on, and they might just come in a little late, and that is okay. That's completely fine. There's no harm in me starting now, so they can always do the replay, so let's go. All right, y'all. So you see my topic, and if you didn't see my topic, let me remind you. How often have you heard somebody says, Dad, you changed. Dad, you acting different. What's wrong with you? Like, why you change up on me? Like, I'm the same. I don't change on people, and you changed. And how often did you feel guilty for when somebody said that to you? Sometimes it causes you to self-evaluate what you're doing, and you're like, no, I didn't change. And then you start to really think back to say, well, maybe did I? You know, and it takes you through either a defensive process because at first you're like, why are you trying to say I changed? Like, you know, like you know, they use the term in urban language, acting brand new. Or, you know, sometimes it is definitely met with a negative connotation at all times, right? It's like no one said you changed and it was a compliment. I mean, sometimes it is, but generally speaking, when somebody hits you with you change, you acting different, it's usually a dig. It's usually a way to check you. It's usually a way to let you know that you're not acting the way that you used to anymore. And it sometimes makes you feel like you are under the spotlight. And if you haven't been through that, they might have not said it to you in your face. But I believe in all parts of our life, it's happened before. It's happened to me many a times. And I remember the feelings I had, because I'm like, wait, if I love you, or if you're in my life, or if you're my friend, or you're my family, or however it is, however you're in my life, if you're there with me, I feel like I give you the best part of me that I can, right? I'm not 100% perfect, but I do try to have a relationship with that person. And I try to be my authentic self, right? I try to offer authentic conversations. Hey, Mom. And so it's always a point of contention for me when someone says you've changed. And don't let them say you've changed according to, like, if you got a new job, or if you got a promotion, or don't get a little bit more money in your bank account, or don't be trying to better yourself schooling, or, even spiritually, however it goes, right? And don't get me wrong, when someone says you changed, it could be for the worse, but here's a good way to measure it. Because we have to be very careful not to start to be very emotion-based, right? Everybody said, well, I go by my gut feeling. Your gut feeling and your emotions are two different things. I'm going to say that one more time. Your gut feeling and your emotions are two different things. Your gut feeling comes it actually is based more in logic, and more from your mind. It's almost like a muscle memory versus your emotions, which are fleeting and temporary, right? Okay. Hey, Ebony. Hey, cuz. So I really want you to get that in your head, because if you react emotionally to someone saying that, you can immediately be put off your square. And it might not be called for that at all. And you want to tell me why. Let me tell you why. When someone says that, you cannot automatically look at it as a bad thing. You first have to measure you. And I think a lot of people are really not honest about the fact that they are not comfortable looking at themselves. The reality is most people don't want to look in the mirror. Figuratively and literally, right? And that's okay. It's not comfortable at first. Like, if you gain some extra weight, to look in the mirror after, like, listen, Corona happened. A lot of people got Corona weight, you know what we call it. And looking in that mirror afterwards is like, okay, all right, this happened. You couldn't really refute it. But it was a necessity for you to take that assessment so you can make good changes, right? So regardless if it's a good or bad change, you absolutely have to be able to look in the mirror to assess yourself. Well, why am I talking about that? Well, I feel like I want you to be able to measure yourself when the next time somebody says that to you, so you can respond better. We talking about responding and not reacting, right? So a good example here. Number one, if someone says, hey, you've changed, think about what has changed in your life in the last 3 to 6 months, or whatever period that they are trying to measure, right? This does matter if it's somebody new in your life. It does also matter if it's somebody that you've known for a long period of time. It matters the length of relationship, right? You're going to measure this differently versus somebody who you met maybe a year ago versus somebody you met maybe, or you known all your life, or you grew up with, right? It's going to be different. And so depending on the length of the relationship, depending on the strength of the relationship, that's something else you want to think about. So how do you and this person relate? Are you like family? You could be family. Are you like good friends? That's had a relationship for years and years and you feel like family? Are you somebody who is a more recent friend, but there's some depth to that relationship, so you're like, okay, this is a friend, I do trust them. Or is it somebody that's kind of a shallow relationship with them, like a associate, right? That could be somebody, either a new person that you've met that you just haven't developed a deep enough relationship yet with, or it could be somebody that you've known for years, but y'all don't talk like that. And if you do talk, it's very surface level. Y'all know that I'm not just talking to be talking. I'm trying to get you to get the different levels of relationship so you understand how to measure this comment correctly. this term that came to you, right? So all of this is what you have to take into context, right? And then you have to be honest with yourself, right? You have to really measure those relationships correctly. Just because it's somebody that should be close to you, you know if there's a real close relationship or not. I don't have to go too much into that, but I think that we're all adults and we can understand that just because someone should be close, and actually if they are close, it's two different things. It's completely two different things. You know, I'll give you an example. You would think that if I lived in the house with somebody, I was automatically close to them. Hey, Carmenia girl. You would think that I'm automatically talk to them every day, but what if you don't know that in my household, we have kind of a, you know, our schedules are different. We don't see each other often. We don't talk often. As a matter of fact, if we're talking is something about the house. And then it's really just kind of a shallow relationship, even though we're in close proximity, right? So you have to be honest about that. Or what if you have a teenager that's in that phase where they really don't talk to you about anything? You ask them things, they get real one-wordy, they get really snippy. You're not in a good moment in that point of that relationship. The reality is you don't know your child as much as you think you do. And a lot of times we have difficulty saying that, but the reality, that's what it is, right? So I might not be able to relate in that moment to them as well as I will want to. But that's the truth in that moment. Okay, so just because it's a presumed closeness or intimacy of relationship doesn't mean it's always there. Okay, you have to be honest about these situations, right? If you have a parent that didn't live in a house, that you didn't grow up in a house with, it might be harder for you to understand as you're older. You might not be as close to them as you should be because of the obvious distance and space. I'm giving examples, that's all, right? I need you to consider all these things. When we talk about people that say that, you know, you changed or, you know, you acting different. So once you determined how close this person is to you, how much you value this person's opinion, hi Tony, how much you value this person's opinion, then you have to go to what has changed in your life in the recent time or along the span of time that they're measuring, right? So if somebody that's close to me that only met me a year ago and said I've changed, then now I have to look back that year of my life. What has changed in the year that I've met them, and what could they be talking about? And I have to try to isolate what that situation they're talking about is. Sometimes you talk to people and they just straight up and they tell you what changed, but a lot of times they won't necessarily tell you because they think you should know, and or they believe that sometimes they can't even articulate. Like you'll ask them, what changed about me? Like what you mean I changed? I don't know, girl. It's just something changed about you. It's just something. They don't always know. So if they can't articulate it, then you're left with this big question mark, this big concern, to figure out what it is. Hey, Yolanda girl. And hey, Jarrell. I'm sorry. I hope I'm saying the name right. Hey, Dre here. So you get in this situation, you're just kind of going over and over. So now you're looking at proximity in relationship. You're looking at like the depth of relationship. You're looking at how long you've known a person and how and then over that length of time that they've said it, then okay, what changed? And so after you've done all that, then you say, well, what did change? So if you have, I'm giving examples here. This is no shade. I don't know anybody with this example of what I'm saying. I'm just literally giving examples. If you have quit your job and you, hey Nina, how are you? Thank you. If you quit your job and you are not paying any of your bills and you playing PlayStation all day and you're not taking care of your kids and somebody says you changed since you met them, that might be a bad change, right? Because you're not taking care of your responsibilities anymore. And even though this might not be a criticism to make you to hurt your feelings. It might be like, hey, Fred, I noticed something's wrong and maybe you should get some help, or let's talk about it. So that might be a bad change, but it's a good thing to notice. And that's something, if someone says that, then yeah, okay, that's a call to action. Something's wrong, let's think about it. Or let's say you come to work every day and you're normally smiling like, hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm wonderful, I'm great, everything's wonderful. And then like you haven't talked to anybody. You frowning, you crying every time they see you, your eyes are red, you look stressed out, you look discombobulated. Well, then that might be something that's a bad change, right? And in that situation, you probably want to heed it, and maybe there is something to look into. Even though it doesn't feel comfortable for people to call you out, they might be doing it in love, right? So those are a couple of the situations where there might be some observations that they're making, and they might not be being nosy. Everybody's not your hater. Everybody's not trying to hate on you. So sometimes people might be actually trying to say, hey, I see something's different, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Nina, that's something else you say. You're hiding it. Yes, a lot of times people hide what's wrong with them. And the reality is, if you do see those big changes in somebody, as a friend, or depending on the level of relationship you have, even just coming back to them and say, hey, is everything okay? Do you need to talk? Is there anything I need? Sometimes what we need to do is be careful with our wording, right? Sometimes our wording is just something that is, it doesn't sit right with everybody. And you have to think about what it is from person to person. It'll be different, right? Some people can just deal with you being a straight shooter, and some people like, that's not good for them. You have to figure out how they deal. Hey, Becky, how are you? So that could be a situation. Like, if, when someone notices something about you and they're like, oh man, this doesn't look good, and I'm checking in. So that's one side of it. That's one side. Y'all know I always got two sides, right? What if you actually look back over the activities of your life and the recent activities, and you're like, dang, I'm doing well. Matter of fact, I'm probably doing the best I have been in my whole life. Like, I'm doing well career-wise, I'm doing well with my children, or I'm doing well with my spouse, or I'm just happy, or, I'm trying new things, I'm stepping out, I'm branching out, I'm doing some, I'm trying stuff that I never tried. And maybe you put up boundaries. Maybe you decided that, you know what, I love everybody in my life, but maybe I have to put up a fence to protect me from past situations or people that are not necessarily understanding where I'm at. And I'm going to say that that's not a bad change. I know I was going somewhere with this, right? That's not a bad change. It's not a bad change. Change is the only thing that is constant. I will say it again. Change is the only thing that is constant. Change is the only thing that's constant. If I know life is good, if I know I'm being better to myself, I'm having self-care, I'm taking time for me, I know life is doing, we all have bad days and good days, but some things could be better than others. But if generally speaking, my pros outweigh my cons, I'm grateful, I'm breathing every day, I'm in good health. If I know that's my situation and I'm being hit with the you change and all of that stuff, then my response has to be, you're right. You are right. You're right. I did change. Y'all, it's not bad to change. I think that I feel like people get this thing where, man, I don't care what it is. I don't change up. I'm the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm the same person I was 15 years ago. And I'm just like, nah, not for me. What? I am not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 15 years ago. Let me help you out. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. Let me help you out. I am not the same person I was 3 years ago. I'm gonna help you out again. I'm not the same person I was 1 year ago. And if I got something to do with it, I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. I'm trying to be better every single day. Every single day, I'm trying to be better. And guess what? I don't have to measure up if you feel like what I'm doing is good versus if I feel like what I'm doing is good. That's where we get it all messed up. The reality of it is that I don't have to measure myself on your measuring stick. Man, the tool of comparison is dangerous. We talked about that, right? We all on our own journey of life. No two journeys are gonna be the same. My journey might look like that. Your journey might look like that. Your journey might look like that. It does not matter. If you know that you're making positive changes, even with some minor setbacks, but if you know overall you're making some positive changes to be the best version of you, don't you let anybody make you feel bad about your changes. Don't you let anybody make you feel bad about changing. Yes, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. You're right. Now, what you can say, and it doesn't have to be being nasty. Thank you, Becky. I love you. It doesn't have to be nasty. You can just simply approach that statement with, you know what, you're right, I have changed. And say that, you know what, but I think my changes are for the betterment of me. I feel better. I'm sleeping better. I'm making moves. And I hope that you see that. And they can respond one or two ways. They could say, well, I don't change. I don't do all that. So you just seem like you act a little funny to me. They can respond that way. And I still don't think that you get back nasty with them. What you do is you approach them with love. And the way you do that is just to say, you know what, I'm sorry that you don't see the positives in my change. But I do. And I hope that you can be happy for me, even though you don't see that. That's how you meet it. Because to be honest with you, those people are not, I don't even call them haters. They're not haters. Hey, Lorenzo, I don't even call them haters. They're not haters. What oftentimes it is that some people are not comfortable with change. Sometimes, some people, when a little something change, they go, oh my God, what's going on? I'm not, that's too much. Some people are not comfortable with change because it takes them a while to adapt to a certain thing. And so sometimes when things are comfortable, how, I like my analogies. How you got a seat on your couch and you kind of, your butt gets in there and you get all comfy at that seat. And so when you sit down, it kind of conforms to your butt. I know that sounds kind of gross a little bit, but y'all know what I mean. That comfy part of your couch where it's for you. You got to sink down in it. Really what's happening is your couch is losing some of the firmness of it, but for your comfortability, it's good, right? It's not good for your couch, but for your comfort, it's good, right? That's how people are. They literally, honestly want to stay in a comfort zone. And honestly, people say, oh, what's so wrong with staying in the comfort zone? I'm not saying anything wrong with it. I'm not saying anything wrong with a comfort zone. We all like comfort from time to time. But I will say comfort is the biggest enemy to forward movement. Again, I'm going to say it again. Comfort is the biggest enemy to forward movement. Hey, Kim. The reality of it is that you get too comfortable. You don't realize that you should be evolving. You should be thriving. You should be striving. And some people say, well, I'm just good where I'm at. And that's fine. Be good. Listen, I'm not here to, I did say that if I'm your friend, let me be honest with you, you can't be around me too long in the same spot because I'm going to ask you, what's going on with you? What's up? Because I care about you. Because at the end of the day, they used to have that program that said no child left behind. And I feel the same way. If you're attached to me and I'm moving somewhere, I need you to understand, we going. And so, hey, you, just in case you didn't understand, I'm changing, I'm moving, I'm evolving, I'm shifting. I want you, because I love you, I want you to go with me. But if you're not here, if you're not where I'm at, if you're not trying to be, and you don't have to be where I'm at, I want you to grow on your level. I want you to figure out what you need to do. I want you to assess how you need to grow. I want you to assess what your development is. I want you to have dreams. I want you to have goals. And if you don't have any for yourself, for whatever reason, it could be an emotional reason. It could be a mental reason. It could just be a slightly that moment you are in life, you're not on the same page. If you're not there, then the reality is that you're going to always see me as changing. You're going to always see me as doing too much. You're going to always see me as I'm different. I'm acting different. And I have to say, I'm not going to apologize for my change. I will say that I love you and I want you to come with me, but that requires a change. And if you're not comfortable with change, then that's your decision. See, you let people shift responsibility to you. That's not your responsibility. My growth should not have a problem. You shouldn't have a problem with my growth. My change, you shouldn't have a problem with, because I'm trying to take everybody with me, right? But if you don't want to go, that's your choice that you made, and it's not something I did. And so I'm using me because guess what? This happens to everybody, and me included, right? And I used to get really in my feelings about it. And I love to realize, I just had to realize that it's not about haters. It's not about, it's people that really love you that you literally have to say, listen, this is where I'm going. And y'all know I love analogies. Here we go. If I told y'all my birthday, I'm going to Jamaica, y'all know I love it. If you know I'm going to Jamaica for my birthday, if you tell me you want to spend my birthday with me on my exact day, and I'm telling you I'm going to be in Jamaica, you got one or two choices. Your choice is to go ahead and get your passport if you don't already have it and get the money together to go. And let's talk about it and make arrangements. Or you can choose not to go and say, no, I don't want to go, Paris. That's not what I want to do, but I want to celebrate your birthday here. I can then say, you know what? Hey, let's go. We own it. We going, we're going to have a great time. Or I can say, all right, you're not going to go, so maybe we can do something another day. That's called a compromise, right? But where I'm going with or without you. Let me say that again. Where I'm going with or without you. And that's no shade. My family know this. I will go on a trip by myself so quickly. My friends know it. I will book a flight in a second because for me, that's peace of mind. So for me, if you want to be with me when I tell you I'm going to be on my birthday, I'm going to be in Jamaica, either you get on board with what I'm talking about or you will have to see me when I get back. Or you're going to have to see me before I leave. And if somebody said, well, that sounds bogus, it doesn't sound bogus. I'm telling you what I want. So what I want to do for my birthday is not more important than what you want to do for it. That's a matter of opinion there, right? I happen to believe I'm worth enough for me to say, I'm going to do what I want to do on my birthday. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to get you guys to figure out, this is not about being selfish, and I'm sorry if some people look at it that way. It's not about that. It's not about leaving anybody. It's not about doing any of that. It's just about being able to say, if somebody is approaching you with the you changed, you make an honest assessment. And if you know your assessment is correct and it's positive, then don't feel bad about that. And it doesn't mean that they're your haters. It doesn't mean to throw them away. It just means that, guess what? And I just want you to realize that change is actually pretty awesome. It's a good measuring tool. You really should look at yourself from time to time and see. Like if you say from this year to this year, you exactly the same place you were at, you nothing's better, nothing changed, you didn't add anything. Some people might look at that as, oh, well, nothing bad happened, you're not worse off. But I don't believe there's a such thing as going back, standing still. I don't believe that. I believe the earth rotates. I believe time moves constantly. There's no such thing as you standing still in time. It doesn't exist. So what does that mean to me? If you're the same place you were last year, I can't say that you stayed the same. I'm going to say you went backwards. And I'm saying that because I'm saying I had to say the same thing to myself. Like once I'm stuck somewhere, like I'm stuck. I'm literally here. Like if somebody's standing in the middle of the sidewalk and everybody's moving back and forth and they're going, people are like moving around that person, they're irritated, like why that person standing there? That's the same way life goes. Life is a constant move. It's constantly moving. It's like a busy street. It's always moving. So there's no such thing as standing still. So if you find yourself in this moment where, and then let's go a step further. If you're somebody that says, well, I just love my family, I love my friend, and it's just they're different. The vibe is different. They're changed. I can't even talk to them. Well, let me help you approach that differently. Talk to them. See what's changing with them. Maybe your relationship is not as deep as you thought it was. And instead of being upset with them, if you love them and you want to vibe with them more, see what exciting things are happening. And instead of feeling left behind, how about you say, hey, what's going on? I want to know. I want to be a part of it. Let's go. What can I do? What can we do? It's ways to get around that. Sometimes people like, man, people ain't acting this way, but you drop them. Or if somebody's saying this to you, they say they're a hater. And I don't believe all of that. I believe that sometimes change is hard for different people. And so that's okay. So while I'm not going to, or why you shouldn't apologize for positive change, there can be conversations that are inclusive. There can be conversations that are even confirming of the situation, and it could possibly lead to exclusion, but that's not on you. It's on the choice of the other person, because basically you're probably letting them know, listen, this is what I'm going towards. This is what I'm doing. Yes, it's different. Like, maybe I don't go out as much as I used to. That's okay. For me, that's a positive. To you, I'm acting funny. Again, for your reality, the way you're looking at it, you see I don't hang out with you, and it might look like it's a personal vendetta against you. To me, I'm evolving and changing, and to me, that's not something that I see as a good use of my time, and I don't necessarily prefer those environments anymore, so maybe I want to change it up. And then, hey, if I invite you to a brunch versus inviting you to a night out or a party, I hope you understand that, and I hope you are okay with that. Or if I'm, telling you, hey, let's try different type of things, and that's not really your vibe or your mood, then you have to consider that as well. If I tell you I like to travel, you say I don't really like to do all that, there becomes those little issues, right? Where we can't do as many things. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean we can't do anything. It just means that maybe instead of, me traveling with you, maybe I just have to catch you at the family reunion. Or maybe I have to just, put some time for a lunch with you. But this is just what I want to talk to you guys about, because I know we have this throwaway mentality. We have this people acting funny mentality. We have this idea where, people grow, so people just, and we have this idea of people that for a season, a reason, and for a lifetime. And all of that's true and wonderful. But let me tell you something. When you choose to do life with somebody, that's exactly what you do. You choose. You choose to do life with somebody. And if it's for some reason it doesn't work out, it's a mature way to say, hey, we've taken, like, this is the end of our road together, and that's okay. And I don't have to hate you, and you don't have to hate me. And we ain't got to talk about each other, and I ain't got to be the worst person ever to you, and you ain't got to be the worst person to me. There are some people that I have, like, taken, like, I'm not in close proximity to anymore, or we're not close anymore, and I love them. And you know what? They might say, well, that might not be their story, but let me tell you something. I don't have to talk about them. People bring them up to me. I'm saying, I just don't, we don't hang out like that anymore. But I hope they're doing well. I haven't talked to them lately, but I hope life is good for them. We have to learn how to be able to move forward without, if you don't do it my way, then you're not cool. If you don't do it my way, you don't like me. You left me. Everything's not mutually exclusive. Let's think more of a life of this and that. I can be a travel person that loves to go everywhere and also like to be a homebody sometimes. I could be somebody who can be very quiet and sit by myself and eat somewhere, but also love to party it out with, with the family or my friends when I'm really in a group. I can do both. I can do both. You can do both. Here's permission to do both. Here's permission to be the unique version of yourself. Remember I told you it's only one you? It's only one you ever. It's nobody going to be exactly like you. It's okay, whatever that looks like. So stop beating yourself up when somebody tells you you changed. If it's not a negative change, have a conversation. Be kind. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoe. Because usually when they say that, that means they feel like the relationship is different. And try to understand their side of it. But then guess what? If you've done what you think you have done to maintain it or to address it and it's still it doesn't feel right with them, then don't stunt your growth to make them comfortable. One of the only things that you will ever regret in life is not doing what you know you're supposed to do because it didn't make somebody who wasn't ready for what you were doing comfortable. I'm going to say that again. Do not stunt your growth or your forward movement because the people around you are not comfortable with you. Sometimes you're going to have to go without them and then just come back and say, hey, are you ready now? Because they might not be ready. And it's okay. It's okay. They might not be okay with it. They might be having a whole problem with it. And it's all right, though. This is just, I'm all about having great relationships. But I'm also about you living your best life and not feeling bad because it doesn't fit into somebody else's square. Like, I have never, I've never fit in exactly anywhere. Anybody who knows me for any length of time knows that I've never fit exactly in. I've never been the most popular person. I've never been the person that everybody looks at and listens to. I've never just been, always the one that was chosen. I've actually been quite peculiar most of my life. And it was hard for me to accept that. And I used to try to conform. And I used to always try to fit in with everybody. I used to say, why don't I have like a whole lot of friends, like a lot of friends? And I didn't understand it. And then I just realized that, guess what? I'm happy with me. The people who get me will get me. And the people that don't, it's okay. And I won't beat myself up about it. I'm going to find joy and peace in anything that I do. And in my life as a whole, and in my purpose, and in doing my purpose. And the people that's rocking with me, they rocking. And the people that's not really rocking with me anymore, I'm not mad at them. And I hope they not mad at me. But if they are, I hope that we can, figure it out. I'm just at a season where life doesn't stand still, and I hope that people get that, and you have to get that too. If you're in a different season, it's okay. It is okay. Permission to be yourself, no matter who doesn't necessarily agree. So I hope this is helpful to anybody. I hope that you got something from it, because I think that sometimes we allow people to box us into that you changed, and we find ourselves explaining ourselves and no, I'm not, I'm the same, and no, it's not true. You are not the same. You have changed, and it's okay. And maybe they don't get that, but it's okay too. They will eventually if they love you. And maybe it's not to say if they love you. Maybe they'll get it. Maybe they don't. Sometimes people who love you don't understand what you're doing, but they'll still support you. I've seen that before too. Like, I don't really get what you're doing, but you know what? I support you. And that's good enough. But don't you let it stop you. That's the point. Don't you stop. Don't you stop. Don't you feel bad. If nobody's cheering you on, baby, you keep on going. Keep on doing it. Yes. Maybe nobody sees all the good that you're doing. Maybe nobody sees that you used to cuss everybody out now, and now you don't, and now you just kind of get quiet. And they think, oh, you acting funny, but maybe they don't realize that it takes a whole lot for you not to cuss people out anymore. So guess what, sis? I'm clapping for you, because that's awesome. And they don't see it, but I do. Or maybe guess what? You everybody like, oh, you don't go out no more. You don't ever come out, and you don't ever have money to come out. Well, maybe they don't realize is that you was living above your means, and so instead of going out and spending all your money at the bars and stuff, now you taking your money and spending and paying off some of your debt because you're trying to buy a house. And to them, you just acting funny because you don't want to go out, but maybe they don't realize you're trying to get a goal. And so I applaud you because they don't get it. They don't get it yet, sis or sir. I get it. I applaud you if you don't get applause anywhere else. Because sometimes when you're in these moments, you don't get people to understanding. What's that song by Escape? What I need from you is understanding. Like, understanding is so desired by everybody, but it's not required. I'm going to say that again. Understanding is desired, but it is not required. That's going to go on a shirt. You hear me? I'm serious. It's going to go on a shirt. Hey, y'all, stay tuned for that too. Understanding is desired, but it's not required. So while everybody wants to be understood, it's not necessary for your next level. So you know, to the person who used to be the life of the party, and now they toned it down a bit, not because they think anything is wrong with it, but maybe they went back to school and they're tired, and they really honestly stay up and they working a job and they got a kid and they do all these things. So guess what? All they can really do is do what they have to do for now in this season. I applaud you. If nobody else said it, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. So, yeah. Don't allow people to beat you up, nor don't beat yourself up, because sometimes we silently beat ourselves up for people. People say stuff and we let it play in our head over and over again, and we're beating ourselves up about it now while nobody else is there. Don't you do that. You're changing, but it's a good change. You're changing, but I see you're evolving. You're changing, but you're getting better. And I'm proud of you. We don't hear it often enough, right? They say, check on your strong friends. Sometimes that person that you think has it all together, just let them know one day, I see you, sis. I see you, bro. I'm proud of you. To that person that might be dealing with their kids and their family all the time, and like with this homeschooling thing, I try to check on my friends who got young kids or teenagers, and I just say, hey, how you doing? How you holding up? And sometimes they be like, man, it's rough. I'm like, man, I don't know how you do it, but I know you're doing it, so I'm proud of you. Let's just spread more love. Let's live our lives the best way we know how. Let's always try to be a better version of ourselves. And change is good. Change is good. Change is good. Change is necessary. Change is awesome. So that's all I wanted to share with you all today. I hope it helped. I hope you got something from it. I hope that you hear me, because don't you ever apologize for changing if it's good. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Hey, Bam, you came on towards the end. I'm about to get off, but you can always watch the replay. So I hope this helps somebody. Please share it on your page, or you can share it with somebody you know, tag anybody in it, whatever. If you're just getting on, you can go back and watch the replay. But, you know, I'm going to say it because I just feel like if it can help one person, that's all that I care about. I just want somebody to be able to be unapologetic about who they are and where they're going and what they're doing, okay? So you know how I always say, you are enough. You are enough. You're enough for where you're at in life right now. You're enough. You're enough for anybody that's in your life. Whether they agree with what you're doing or not, you still are enough. You're enough to make that next move. Don't you allow people to make you second guess what you're doing because they don't give you the support right now in this season. That's okay. You're still enough to do what you're doing. You're still enough to keep making the power moves that you're making, even without the applause. You got to be able to do it without the applause so you can handle when you do get the applause. Because when you don't get it, that doesn't mean you stop. You know, you have to be able to do it without it. Okay? Do it without. You don't have to have the cheering in the back. It's nice, but you don't have to. And so you are enough. You know, you're enough for me to love you. You're enough for God to love you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. You know, I'll see you Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hopefully you can come on with me and chat it up a little bit. If not, catch the replay. Please, if you are catching the replay, please type replay on here so I can know, because it's always a lot of people say, oh, I'll catch you live, and I'm like, I never know, because I don't, either they don't like it or they don't necessarily, you know, I don't see it, their names. So it just helps me out to know who's seeing it. Please, so if you're catching the replay, please just type in replay. That's all you have to do. That way I know you saw it. And you don't have to even watch the whole thing, but if you caught some of it, just so I can know you came on, check me out for a minute, okay? All right, guys, I love you. Have an amazing day. And I will talk to you later. Robert, Dana, I'm getting off now, sorry. But like I said, catch the replay. It's about to be posted like in less than 2 minutes, okay? Bye, everybody.